Hey everybody, this is Perch. Two bits of controversy for me over three actually. I post some videos and people seem to find issues with three of them. So let me address some of this stuff. We'll kind of go back over it again, kind of one at a time. So first off, Falcon Winter Soldier wraps up this week, and I don't know when these videos are. You guys all know I'm recording these things sometimes weeks in advance. That's how I do it. So sometimes things are very late. But anyway, in theory, from when I'm recording this, Falcon Winter Soldier wraps up this week, and it is. I haven't terribly enjoyed the show. It's felt uneven. Maybe in some ways, after the very first episode, Joe pointed out, he did it on the air during one of our live streams, this weird, semi-ridiculous moment where we see Bucky and he's hanging out on this date, and the girl's like, what do you call somebody who's lost their child? There's no word for somebody who's lost their child. And Bucky killed the guy's child. You know that from an earlier flashback. And Bucky's looking kind of like, oh, man. And then he goes over to the guy's apartment to maybe confess or to make amends. And he opens the door, and like right in the foyer of this apartment is a shrine to the dead son that he killed. And it's like, it's banging you over the head. It was not subtle. I put it that way. I enjoyed WandaVision more so far. Maybe it all comes together at the end, but we'll see. Anyway, there was another scene early on in the very first episode that I thought was ludicrous. And I said so in this video, but it seemed to get everybody mad. And this is one of those cases where I feel like somebody took a clip from my video on another channel, one of the more outragey channels, and decided to say and kind of misrepresented my point. The scene is the Falcon, Sam, goes to get a loan for his boat. And he goes into the bank, and the bank's like, no, we can't help you. And the banker, they take some pains to say, well, you have no credit, and you were blipped, and then, you came back, and we used to have a program for people who blip, but now it's over. And his sister is like, oh, for people like us. So they're inferring some racism in all this. And it's there's not subtle. I mean, the banker doesn't say, well, you're black, but it's definitely it's meant to infer that, the black guy can't get a loan. And the ludicrous part, what I mentioned in this video, the part that just, to me, it suspends disbelief from being even you could look at this scene and say, all right, this is some political propaganda here that's going out, or this is it surpasses just propaganda and goes into stupid. And for me, it goes into stupid. Is it still propaganda? Yes. And I think I said that in the original video, but everybody came in to want to say, I completely disagree. It's propaganda. I'm like, yeah, I know that. We all know that. We know that because it was not subtle. And it was so not subtle, it was stupid. And the reason it's stupid is simply, Falcon is an Avenger. He saved the world. They point this out. The goofy part of the scene is that the guy who's denying his loan wants to take selfies with Sam and is like, oh my God, you're an Avenger. Oh, wow, you helped save the world from Thanos. You brought all these people back. You're trying to tell me that somebody like that, an Avenger who saved the world, would have trouble getting a bank loan. That is stupid. It is flat out stupid. If you want to make an analogy about racism, more power to you. But this is a terrible way to do it. Because, look, there are plenty of African-American celebrities who have, tennis shoe deals and sponsorships and all kinds of things. And you're telling me one of the few African-American superheroes who saved the universe from Thanos and was in a battle and has cool gear and is very, camera friendly. He smiles. He works from a media perspective. You're telling me that guy is going to get turned down from a loan. That is absolute nonsense. People would be lining up to give that guy cash for anything, whether it's an endorsement, whether it's a loan, whatever else. That's the part that is dumb. I stand by that. As people have said, no, this is the corporation trying to make us think that things. I mean, sure, Yes, of course they're doing that, but it's stupid in this case. This whole scene would have done much better if it would have just been his sister in there. And Sam's like, she wouldn't let him come to the loan, and Sam's like, not able to help. And then they're not giving her the loan. Then, okay, at least then we're going, all right, well, then we can say there's a racist banker or something. We could at least go there, and then we could argue if this was, legitimate or not. But in this scene, it's just stupid. So, hey, for what it's worth, I don't know if that helped any. Again, I have a feeling somebody did a video out there somewhere where they badly misrepresented my point, because I got like the drone army came in and all said the exact same, like everybody was saying the exact same thing. What we are mad about. Whenever somebody refers to what we are mad about in the comments, it's like I always think of the, whatever, the NPC argument. A bunch of NPCs showed up and said the exact same thing over and over again. Anyway, sure, I made some people mad. Oh, well. The next one that seemed to irritate people was around North Star. So this one's a little trickier. North Star as a character, and I'm going to do a review of the book where he actually came out. If you go back to the origin point of the character, when he was in Alpha Flight, when John Byrne was writing him, and even before that a little bit, North Star was, I don't want to say they were always writing him to be gay, but people like, I'm 50% sure I've read somewhere that John Byrne intended North Star to be a gay character. And if that's true, it fits. If you read the comics, it fits. There aren't these weird, awkward moments where North Star is like super horny for some girl. It's not like Iceman where you have this relationship with Opal that that Bobby, like he fights to the death for her honor. I mean, he's so in love with her that anyway, the Bobby thing, there's a lot of comics that contradict what they did with him later, but in North Star's case, it fits. And so it feels like a very natural evolution to that character. I don't know. I suspect that's why a lot of people don't really have an issue with North Star. He came out and nobody really cared that he came out. When I say nobody really cared, I mean like nobody was really angry about it. Now the coming out issue was terrible. And I say from my perspective, you may have a different perspective. That's fine. But it was a very strangely written issue. It was because he comes out. He screams. He's having this fight with this guy, Major Maple Leaf, and the Major's son died from AIDS complications, but the media ignored it because his son was gay. And at the time, they were saying the media was really only focusing on people who got AIDS who were not gay. And so North Star has this big fight with him and then just screams in his face, "I am gay." And it's a very, like, it was told very poorly. We'll do a review of that. But it was that coming out was just tone deaf. And for what it's worth, I had a comic shop at the time when this issue came out. I had a employee who was working with me who was gay, and he hated it. I mean, and the funny thing was, you had Vertigo Books and you had a lot of other stuff at the time that were doing a tremendous job of representing the gay characters and all that. They were great options there coming out of Vertigo, but not so with this book. It was goofy. Despite that, North Star was a fine character. It was fine that he was gay, and he was fine. And then the Marvel just memory hold him for like 2 decades, and we finally he gets married back in 2014. And I mentioned in the video that it was a bit of a publicity stunt. It was not the marriage. The marriage was. It was a marriage. I mean, they had set up Kyle, and they'd set up this relationship, and it wasn't like they. Again, it was the story was fine. My complaint in that story was the weird Deathbird sequence where the bigot role is put on the alien bird creature who's horny for humans. I mean, just that was just weird. I mean, go all in and just have it be human. That was just strange. But the reason I say it was a publicity stunt is because Marvel treated it that way. They put out a press release, they did some articles, they made a big deal about how, it's the first gay wedding. And they also they were trying to beat out DC at the time. That's the thing that people kind of forget, is that they're basically, DC had some gay characters and some storylines that were going on, and Marvel was basically saying, we got to ours first, which is a terrible reason to do it. And so it definitely it definitely was a PR stunt for sure. But just because it was a PR stunt from the company doesn't mean it was a bad thing for the character. It wasn't. North Star marrying Kyle, I mean, I'm in favor of superheroes marrying each other. I think that's good that they do it. I wish they would not screw around with marriage more. But it was all very, again, your mileage may vary. For me, when companies like to trot out press releases and interviews talking about how brave and strong they are, it turns me off. I don't like that kind of self-patting on the back. I always think that's kind of scummy when that comes out. That's my point of view. Doesn't have to be yours. There you go. Anyway, 2 little controversies. I hope that makes sense. Maybe I just confuse people further. Whatever. Hey, let me know your thoughts below. What arguments you still have. All good. Please, though, don't go into the comments and try and lecture me on how political propaganda works and this. I know. I've heard it. I promise. You don't need. People always come in like they're talking to a 2-year-old. Like, but you see, Perch, this is what happens when big corporations try and It's like, okay. Thanks. Thank you for that. I got it. You and the 80 other people got it. Anyway, hey, thanks for listening.